This is 9:01 on the clock. I was wondering where we were.
Westfield Memorial Hospital provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Chautauqua Sunrise is made possible by a grant from Fredonia Place, a continuing care retirement community providing dignity in a modern luxury environment. Meter's Restaurant, a family tradition for over 50 years in downtown Ripley, is a proud supporter of Chautauqua Sunrise. Meter's provides all-day dining, banquet services, and custom catering, specializing in pie. Funding for Chautauqua Sunrise is provided in part by the Chautauqua County Industrial Development Agency, with offices in Jamestown, Dunkirk, and Westfield, helping businesses to prosper throughout Chautauqua County.
The Chautauqua Center.
Are you looking for affordable medical, dental, or counseling services? The Chautauqua Center is always accepting new patients at their Jamestown and Dunkirk locations. They offer discounted prescriptions and accept all insurances. From the Access Chautauqua Studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Chautauqua. We are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week from 9 to 10 a.m. Send events via email or call us live. Check us out on YouTube and Facebook. And now, from the Access Chautauqua Studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Doc Hamels, and welcome to Chautauqua Sunrise. And a Chautauqua Sunrise it was today. It was a great morning already. Brody and I were out for our morning walk around 7 o'clock, and it was pretty warm yet. It was like 70 degrees. We're going to have a toasty weekend, but that's okay. We're in the summertime, and these are the days that we pine for in the middle of February, huh? So anyways, I hope you're having a great weekend, and a great day, a great morning, and thanks for joining us. Okay, I want to first of all say hi and hello to everybody that's watching right now, obviously. If you can't watch the whole show, you can always catch us again on Spectrum on channel 1301 at 2 and 8 every day right here on Access Chautauqua. And also, if you're in the Jamestown area, Tuesdays at 1 o'clock on WRFA 107.9, low power to the people. Thanks for joining us, and all the listeners in the Jamestown area, thanks for checking in today. Got an interesting show. We're going to be talking about some good healthy behaviors and some things that you might want to think about on down the road. All right. So also I want to say hi to everybody in the world that may be streaming with us right now. I know I talk about this quite often, but we've had people around the world watching the show. I don't know how that's possible, but they are. And last week we had somebody over in Michigan. We've had people in London, England recently. So hi everybody. Welcome to Chautauqua County, New York. Glad you could be here. We're in the county seat in Mayville, New York. For those of you that are more local that want to give a call during the show, if you have an announcement, if your club or organization is doing something virtually or in person, which is pretty slim right now, I know, but give us a call at 716-753-5225. Somebody will answer the phone. You could either talk to me live, which is no big deal. Don't be scared. We just like having a conversation on the phone, except you're going to be coming through a speaker and we're going to hear you. Or they'll write it down, which they sometimes do, the crew here, and they'll hand it to me and we'll make that announcement. Okay? So don't be shy. We're here for you. All right. So let's see what we got going on here. All right. So I guess that rainfall the other day we all had, that deluge, was great for the gardens, weren't they? My blueberries are like, boing! They popped right up, they puffed right up, and they're delicious. And I know, Justin, this is hard to believe, but you're looking at a grandfather. I'm a grandpa Zook. I have baby zucchinis. They're popping up. I know you're excited. I can tell. I haven't grown zucchini in years, and I know we're going to have more than we need. But you keep just willing them grow, and all of a sudden now there's one about a half foot long. I was like shocked overnight. They just blow right up. And what? Pickled zucchini. I had never thought of pickling zucchini. I know you can eat the blossoms. They deep fry them. Well, no, that's a cucumber. Where do we get these crew guys? Anyways, and I was picking green beans, and I picked the smallest carrot you could possibly pick, I guess, and still call it a carrot. I was checking on my crop. Anyways, it's all good, and it's fun this time of year. I know we're restricted to a certain degree, but people are getting around, and boy, I'm not sure what's going to take for everybody to figure it out. Wear the dang mask, all right? I know they're warm. I know they're cumbersome at times, but they've got some really cool ones out there. Bob Burke, who was on the show not so long ago, was talking about the different styles out there. So figure it out. There's different ways to do it. You watch regular network TV and it's overwhelming. I mean, every day I try to watch TV for like 6 minutes and then it's just too much after that. But I mean, we're in trouble right now, and we really all need to hunker down. And I see that we've got a little spike over in part of the county right now. So let's do our best to contain it and stay calm and do what we're supposed to do. And I know people grumble and they say, the government this and government that. They're trying to protect us from ourselves. So keep wearing the mask. We've been doing so well. So just hang in there. We're going to be okay. All right, let's move on. In light of that, I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, but we're almost there. We've been working on a really cool new series for you to watch on TV. It's called Chautauqua Strong and Healthy. We had done the Chautauqua Strong series where we were talking about the pandemic, and we have various people from government departments and things like that. But now we've taken it a little further. It's called Chautauqua Strong and Healthy. And we're going to be talking with one of the presenters here in a little bit. She's waiting very patiently in the wings. But the series is and has been designed for folks that maybe can't get out right now, that you might be at home right, just like now you're watching me, and they're going to guide you through a variety of things, whether it's exercise, or we're going to be talking about some Tai Chi, healthy cooking, and thinking about your diet, because it's really easy to be sitting at home just mowing down and watching TV, and the pounds can pile on really quick. So anyways, we've got a healthy series coming up for you, and I'm not sure when we're going to release it yet, but you're going to be seeing them scheduled real soon. I think one of the series, a part of the series, is going to be happening any day now, and then as we go along, we're going to release them, and I'll be telling you more about it. But I invited all of the presenters to be on the show in the next few weeks, and we're going to talk about that series. So stay tuned. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay. Also, because of the pandemic, everything's a pandemic, isn't it? The Ride for Roswell was canceled. So the Chautauqua Sunrisers, who have been participating for the last few years up in Buffalo area for the Ride for Roswell, said, we will not be stopped. So we've been planning and scheming for the last month or so because we weren't sure what they were going to do. And so we decided to have our own little ride here in Chautauqua County. Now, I'm throwing this out because it's not an official ride. It's just us riding. And if you want to join us, it's going to be on August 9th, and August 16th will be the rain date if the weather is horrible. We're going to meet at Meter's Restaurant, one of the ones that you see in the beginning here, our underwriters, at 7:30, and we're going to, and Jeff, if you're listening, he's my engineer, he always tells me the route. I'll see if I get it right here. We're going to start at Meter's, we're going to head down to the Pennsylvania border, cross into Pennsylvania, say we did a bi-state ride, turn around, come all the way back out Route 20, we're going all the way up to Westfield, then we're going to cut over, I think it's Prospect Road, up into Webster Road, take that up, and then we're going to cross over Munson Road, I think it is, into Portland, Brockton area, and then come back all the way back to Ripley. It's going to be about a 33-mile ride. So if you're interested, you can always contact the studio or just join us August 9th, about 7:30 at Meter's Restaurant, and we're going to be doing our own ride for Roswell. Okay? So there's going to be a few of us there, but I can't say how many. And this is unofficial. If you want to join us, it's just a casual ride. Okay? All right, I have a few other announcements that I want to share with you, and some are cancellations and changes, and as you know, we've been doing that for everybody here because, well, kind of hard to do it, and everything we talk about here is free of charge to the community, and that goes for anything that you like to announce as well. Okay, so we've been talking about the Chautauqua Center's Family Days. They were really, really looking forward to it. They rescheduled it from, I think it was July until August. And so now I have this from Sarah Gilbert, who's the marketing specialist, and she was on the show this year. She says, I'm writing to you to let you know that we've made the unfortunate decision to cancel our Family Fun Day events this year due to the COVID-19. Because our Family Fun Day events draw such huge crowds, and they do, and despite having explored a variety of options and modifications, we've determined that the safest way to protect is to cancel. Isn't that sad for this summer? The good news is that they're still going to purchase 830, I'll say that again, 830 backpacks, along with a ton of school supplies, and they'll still be distributing them to local students. Isn't that great? The plan is to wait until next month when the Chautauqua County School Districts announce their reopening plans, then work with school counselors at districts and as they're reopening, and to identify students who might need the most, okay? And sadly, you know, every year there's always somebody that needs something, but this year I think it's going to be even more so with folks being out of work and so on. So this is going to be a great gift to the community. They look forward to planning their next event that's going to be safe. They're grateful to their partners and sponsors who provided their time and financial support to purchase the backpacks and school supplies. I'm going to tell you who they are. The Salvation Army Anew Center, Cummins Incorporated, Walmart, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Western New York, Molina Healthcare, Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation, Chautauqua Safety Village, the Lakeshore Savings, and Lynn Funeral Home. Wow, a lot of folks. Now, if you're interested in knowing more about the backpacks and so forth, give Sarah a call at 484-4334, extension 1349. Okay, again, 484-4334, extension 1349. Or you can contact her at the Chautauqua Center. Okay? Whew. Now, from the Chamber of Commerce. All right, this is kind of long and involved, but I think it's well reading. Okay. This is from Todd Tranum. With a recent surge in confirmed COVID-19 cases in the United States, it's a good time for a reminder that how we all behave in this ongoing pandemic plays a dramatic role in how our local businesses can continue to operate. Now, I know if you read the paper, some businesses have had to close, and it's unfortunate. So let's see what they have to say. Wearing a mask is not only essential in public places, it is required. Effective July 9th, the New York State Department of Health issued an emergency rule that imposes enforcement measures for all places of business. Here's the part that I want you to know. Business operators and building owners are now required to deny entry to anyone who fails to comply with the face covering requirement. So they're not just making this up, it's a requirement. The rule is subject to a civil penalty of $1,000 per violation up to $10,000. The use of face covering that covers both your nose and mouth is a requirement in New York State whenever social distancing is not possible. It is required for both employees and customers and is explicitly named as part of all reopening guidelines that businesses were required to read and affirm as they reopened. Okay, and we talked about this when Mark Geis was on here. They've got to fill out a form that says they're going to follow the rules, and they have to post it. If a medical condition prevents the use of a cloth or disposable mask, a face shield can be substituted. More and more states are now requiring face coverings. New York State was at the forefront of this movement as scientific studies began to demonstrate that they help stop the spread of the virus, protecting both the wearer and those they may contact during the course of business. We have seen a few businesses in Chautauqua County recently that have had employees test positive for the COVID. Many of them chose to temporarily close for extra cleaning measures, and we applaud them all for the integrity that they have demonstrated by publicly announcing their situations. They could have covered it up. It is testing, contact tracing, and this type of public disclosure that helps everyone to understand how the virus has spread and helps to keep us safe. Any business that has an immediate concern about employee or customer exposure should contact the Chautauqua County Health Department. While some states are now backtracking on their reopening plans due to rising case numbers, New York State has not been forced to do that. We need to continue moving this in a positive direction. The losses associated with COVID-19 have been great. I don't need to tell you that. Both from a public health and economic standpoint. Stopping the spread and keeping people safe and businesses open should be everyone's goal. In addition, New York State has a travel advisory posted, this shocked me, for 22 states. All right? Anyone entering New York State from any of these states must quarantine for 14 days. Any of these states, quarantine 14 days. Alabama, Arkansas, Arizona, California, Florida, Georgia, Iowa, Idaho, Kansas, Louisiana, Minnesota, Mississippi, New Mexico, North Carolina, Nevada, Ohio, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, and Wisconsin. Businesses should restrict travel to essential trips only and follow quarantine rules. They ask everyone to do their part by wearing a mask, social distancing whenever possible, and shop and dine responsibly when you visit local stores and restaurants. There is a lot of great summer weather to enjoy in our beautiful lake area, golf courses, hiking trails, beaches, and so on. So, wow, couldn't have said it better, Todd Tranum. That really sums it up. We got to do our part. And when people ask you to put those masks on, please do it. And I understand a lot of the big markets and big box stores, they're doing the same. All right, Jeff, let's go to slide 15, and this is called Pax Tools Webinar. I can't talk this morning. Part one is going to be on the 14th of July, which is already taking place, so let's forget that one. Part two is the 21st of July from 1 to 2:30 p.m. Pax Tools is a collection of evidence-based, trauma-informed strategies to inform cooperation and self-regulation with youth. This webinar will focus on the science of each strategy and how to use each technique in your home and with your children. All right, and let's see. And then there's another one. I don't think there's a slide for this, but it kind of goes along with this. Starting on July 23rd from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. The purpose of this online program is to provide a welcoming environment for parents, family members, and other caregivers of individuals with developmental disabilities to meet, share experiences, ask questions, and receive support. Do you want to reduce conflict, have better relationships, help your children manage their own behaviors? You need Pax Tools. Okay, this is a Zoom meeting, and if you want to join it through a link, you give them a call at 716-332-4170. Again, 716-332-4170. You can join this meeting from the safety of your own home and meet other parents via Zoom. It's easy to download it on your computer. You can do it on your iPhones, whatever. I've done it on everything, and it's a great way to keep in touch and learn more information. All right, let's move on. Silver Creek Yard Sale, August 1. Okay, the Hanover Community Chamber of Commerce will hold the 28th Annual Silver Creek Yard Sales, that's a plural, because there are a lot of them, on Saturday, August 1. You can shop all day at dozens of garage and yard sales throughout the village of Silver Creek and the surrounding area. Sale maps will be available to purchase for $1 at the Village Park in Silver Creek starting at 8:30 on the sale day. Sales are held rain or shine from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Those who want to participate by holding a sale can register for only $10 and be covered under the blanket permit for the sale. Proceeds of all these little extras go to the Hanover Community Chamber to help support year-round programming, including scholarships for local graduating high school seniors. If you want more information, go to chautauquachamber.org, and they've got all the information on that. Okay, we got a chicken barbecue. Prevention Works. Let's see, August 5 from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Location, Chautauqua Mall over on Fairmont Avenue. Dinners are $12 and include a half barbecue chicken, macaroni salad, potato salad, and a roll. It's a drive-through, takeout only, cash only. Cash only at event, or purchase your tickets online. And then they tell you where to go in a minute here, I'll tell you. Originally, our South Barbecue was scheduled for the 23rd of June, and it was postponed, but now it's August 5. So, if you're interested, give them a call, 664-3608, or you can go to info@preventionworks, all one word, .us. info@preventionworks.us. Okay, and finally, for you golfers, while numerous events have been canceled this summer, the Chamber is proud to bring you the 2020 Chamber of Commerce Annual Golf Tournament on August 27th. This great event will once again be held at the beautiful Peak and Peak Resort in Clymer, New York, with 11 a.m. shotgun start. A few things will be managed differently this year as they adhere to new social distancing regulations. That's never a problem for me. I hit the ball, I'm way over there. No one's even close to where I am. We are asking that all golfers register and pay online and so forth. So that's August 27th, and just go to your Chamber of Commerce website and they'll tell you what to do. We're gonna take a breather, and we'll be right back.
That was good.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Kind of reminds me of my early days learning to cook. We all experiment at these things, and it's fun. And we always love to get the kids involved with cooking. A lot of times my wife says, "What are you cooking now?" And she kind of like sneaks up on it. So anyway, somehow the dog seems to get a little extra when I cook. Okay, folks, as I was mentioning earlier, we are going to be introducing you to the folks that are going to be doing the Chautauqua Strong and Healthy series. And we've been filming when we're not on the air on off hours with folks, and we've already filmed 2 different segments of the program, of the series, and we're going to be doing a third this afternoon. Actually, it's late this morning. We're going to be doing the 3rd series. So anyways, I want to welcome to Chautauqua Sunrise, Nancy Dunbar. And your segment is called Healthy Bones,
Yes.
right? And we'll talk a little bit about that here shortly. So a little different. You're not running around exercising and having your ladies doing all these really cool things. We enjoyed filming you last week, and it was nice. So if I remember right, Marianne Spanos from the Office for the Aging had contacted some of you folks. And what was the thinking back then?
Well, we would do a 6-week series of the exercise program, Healthy Bones. And we would meet twice a week, and the third time you were supposed to do it at home. So usually to get the benefits you need 3 days a week. And we had quite a group. We had about 8 or 9 participants, and my sister also had one going on in Fredonia.
Oh, wow.
So Mary Ann thought we could do it online because with the COVID,
Right.
We really couldn't meet anymore. So.
Right, and I think that we've been really concerned about compromising a certain sector of the community, especially, I mean, we're all trying to be careful, but I mean,
Right.
especially for folks over a certain age or more homebound and so
Right.
forth. So tell me the history of Healthy Bones. I hadn't heard about this, so where did it start? How long has it been going?
I believe it's been going on for quite a while. I've been doing it for 8 years.
Oh, wow.
And how I got interested in it was actually my sister, she lives in Fredonia, I'm in Dunkirk. We contacted the Office of the Aging, she did, and she heard about the Healthy Bones program over in Jamestown area. And so she wanted to find out if there was one in our area, North County, and there wasn't. So the Office of the Aging told her, well, if you want to be an instructor, you could start a group. And so her and I decided, she called me up and she wanted to include me, and we decided to have go to the instructor program.
Okay.
And that was through Penn State Extension.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you had to travel to get this training.
Just a little bit.
So how much training did you need?
2-day training. And so she was able to have her group in Fredonia, and I have one in Dunkirk. So.
Okay. So where do you normally meet?
She's at the St. Joseph's Church in Fredonia, the church in Fredonia, and I'm at St. John's in Dunkirk on Central.
Okay. So you mentioned your sister a couple, 3-4 times now. So are you both in the same business, or both get the same training? I mean,
Right.
How that work?
We went together for the 2-day training.
No. Prior to this, I mean, are you both into exercise? Or?
Oh, she likes to exercise, sure. The reason we decided to do it, we both had the onset osteopenia of osteoporosis. It runs in our family. My mother had it.
Okay, let's back up on that one, because you just used a couple of terms that sound like an Italian dish. So what? Why? Okay.
Well, osteoporosis is really when you have dry, brittle bones, thinning bones, and that can cause, as you get older, you're at risk for breaking bones, fracturing or breaking bones. So it's called the silent disease because really you don't see any outward signs. There's really no signs or symptoms except painful joints. And you might see a decrease in height, or maybe some bony prominent, sticking out of bones here and there, but or stoop posture, but you really don't see too many other physical signs. So that's why it's called.
This is genetic, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
It runs in our family, and my mother had it. So we decided, we wanted to try to prevent it, and we were both at that stage called osteopenia, which is.
I've never heard that.
Okay.
Osteoporosis ever, but
Yeah.
Say it again.
Osteopenia. It's a precursor to osteoporosis.
Okay.
So.
So you evidently had some testing done?
Yes, bone
Okay.
density tests
Bone
are
density.
how you can find out.
Yeah, I even wrote that down, bone density.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And so we were like borderline.
Okay.
So we decided we want to have healthy bones. We want to make sure we're exercising. So we decided we wanted to look into this program.
Okay. So prior to this, had you done instruction, or what's your background?
Well, I'm a nurse. I'm an LPN nurse.
Oh, you didn't tell me that part. I didn't know that.
But my sister really doesn't have. She has worked for some doctors, so we do have some knowledge,
Okay.
about keeping fit and healthy, and as we get older, I think that should be number one for everybody,
So
to exercise.
Monday morning when you go to work, are you an exercise instructor or are you an LPN?
Well, I work for a nonprofit, so
Okay.
yes,
Okay. All right.
I'm a nurse. But
Okay. All right. Because on your title on here it said exercise instructor.
Right.
So you caught me off guard. I love this when I interview people and find out things. Okay. So where did you study to be an LPN?
BOCES.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. At the Verdoni site? Okay. I used to be the administrator there.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, but that was
Yeah.
some time ago. Okay, well, that's great. All right, so osteoporosis, I know, my mother, I wish y'all could have met my mom. She was a Spitfire, full-blooded Sicilian, 5'5" in her youth. And I remember when she was in her 80s, she says, I went to the doctor. Think of what's her name? Oh, I'll think of it in a minute. Anyways, from the Golden Girls. You know,
the little one.
Yeah. Anyways, well, that was my mom, and she says I shrunk. I go, what do you mean you shrunk? She says I'm only 5'3". I was 5'5". So there you go. You know,
Right.
our bones.
Right.
And and I know that she was concerned, and I know even my wife and other females in the family have had the bone density test. All right, so now bone density test sounds like they drill into your body and they take a sample. How does that work?
No, it's just an X-ray.
Okay.
It could be even a CAT scan, but it's the type of X-ray that they do called DEXA or something like that. And they scan your bones. You really just sit there and they have a scanner, and it gives you a score. So.
Okay, so now let me roll back the table a bit. So you got interested in healthy bones because of a family medical
History.
All right, and so you say I want to do something. So what does the exercise do for your bones with
Right.
osteoporosis? I mean, it sounds like to me you want to take it easy. You don't want to break bones. So how does that all work?
Well, no, Healthy Bones is evidence-based exercise program, and what you're doing is strength training.
Okay.
So you're working with hand weights and ankle weights, and we do about 10 repetitions for each exercise that we do. So, and then we end up doing 2 sets of 10, and 3 days a week you're supposed to be doing this, and that's supposed to help increase your bone density, and it's supposed to help increase your strength to protect your bones, because once you increase the muscle strength, it helps protect your bones.
Okay, so what you're doing is you're wrapping the bone with strong muscle so
Right.
it doesn't crack.
Right.
Okay. So my crew here, they got me the name of the Golden Girl, Sophia.
Okay.
That would be my mother. It was Sicily, 1921. See, that was my mom, really. Do men get osteoporosis?
Oh, yes.
Really?
Yes, and originally this program was called Strong Women, Strong Bones, but we decided to change it to Healthy Bones because we're including men also.
Okay, and men. All right,
Yes.
all right,
Usually I think the statistics are like 1 in 4 men can get osteoporosis.
What's women?
I'm not sure.
More, probably.
More, definitely
Right.
more, yes.
Well, I'm going to take a long shot on this. Many women have had children.
Right.
And that's probably a chemical drain of nutrients on their body, I'm
Right.
guessing. Yeah.
Sure.
So, as we were saying, so building a strong muscular system will keep you straight. So what causes the curvature? I mean, I've seen women that are really way over. I mean, they look like hunched over,
Right.
hunchback. I mean,
Right.
what causes that?
I think it's just the osteoporosis, the disease that the bones become brittle and they thin.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. So with the osteoporosis, does it give you trouble walking?
Oh, yeah.
I guess. So
Yeah,
this,
you
this
could
is-
have a lot of pain. You can be in a lot of pain when you're walking as you get older, and just even sitting, getting up out of a chair, you know, doing any type of chores around the house.
So with your group that you get together, are they all folks that have osteoporosis, or this is just, hey, let's get together and exercise?
Right. These are seniors. Any seniors that are concerned, you know, about exercise, that want to gain some strength in their muscles. So,
Okay.
and we have a lot of fun.
Okay. Now, Linda Spalding's watching usually, and I always question her on this because she works for the Office for the Aging. You said senior. So how do you
Right.
define senior here?
50 or over.
What? That's a young person, 50 plus. Okay, so it's never too early, really.
Right.
And you know, when you're in your 50s, that's really when your body is really
Right.
going through a lot of change and slowing down or whatever. So, so where does osteoporosis actually start? I mean, is it like a germ or a virus, or is it just, you know, like either you're tall or short or whatever, and it's in
Right.
your system, or?
I think it just comes with age, you know, as you increase in age, and also with women it could be due to menopause, low estrogen levels and that.
Okay, wow. Okay, so you do a variety of exercises. So when your segment of Chautauqua Strong and Healthy comes on, you had 2 assistants with you, and you had chairs in the scene.
Right.
So why?
Basically, I tell everyone all you really need is a chair to work with, because we do some exercises that are seated in the chair, and then we do some exercises that are either on the floor or standing. So we have modifications if you don't want to be on the floor, but it's something you could do at home anytime.
Okay, so my understanding is once we finalize the filming and edits and things like that, it's going to be on from time to time, and people at home can
Yes.
follow along with you? Is that
Definitely.
That's the plan, right?
Yes.
What kind of equipment do they need?
Well, we use hand weights and ankle weights. You can purchase these probably at TJ Maxx or any health store. And even if you don't have hand weights, you don't have to have them. You can just follow along. But in order to strengthen our bones, we do use the hand weights because you're building muscle. It's a weight-bearing exercise that we're doing.
Getting back to my little mother, Sophia there, her real name was Sarah. If I'm not mistaken, I went over to the house one day and she was exercising. I go, what are you doing? And she had, I don't know, like tomato cans or something.
Right.
I go, what are you? She was, I'm supposed to use these because I don't have weights. And she was doing
Sure. You can use those. You can use, 2 cans for each arm, you know.
Now you said getting done on the floor. Now some folks that are getting in advanced age, that's an issue. So can they just watch that segment? Or I mean, I realize this is all voluntary.
Right. Now we have modifications for the floor exercises, and so in the video that we show, we have 2 people doing the modifications, so that you can see. If you don't want to get on the floor, you can follow along with those.
Okay, so for our viewers and listeners, let's say you're I don't know, doing a leg extension where you're lifting your leg
Right.
from the floor. So what would the modification be?
Well, they'll be standing behind the chair, or they'll show you exactly where to stand, and they're just going to lift their leg standing.
Okay, so no special equipment.
No.
Okay, and so when you're doing these sessions, people might be thinking, well, I don't have time to do this. So how long are you involved with this?
They really don't take that long. The exercises, there's probably maybe 12 or 13 exercises and that we do. And we also do balance exercises so that they do, Healthy Bones is also maintains your strength, increases your flexibility, and it will restore your balance too, because the balance exercises are important, especially, getting in and out of a chair, going through crowds of people. So, you really want to exercise to help restore your balance.
Okay. So when the show is on TV, someone could record it, right?
Sure.
That's something that we could offer folks.
Right.
Because they might say, well, I don't get up that time, or it's too late.
You can do
or
it anytime.
whatever, I got to play cards with the girls, or whatever. So yeah, and they could do it over and over again.
Right.
So is there? No, I can't remember. It's just gonna be one episode, or
We have we have other exercises that we do, but the one that we will be showing on YouTube or streaming online is our main one. They're all the main exercises.
Or the core
exercises, yes,
All right.
that we do.
Now, eventually, I don't even know when this is going to happen. I mean, I thought everything would be back to normal by July, and we're not even close. So when we get to the point where we can meet again in person, how do people get a hold of you, and where do you, like you said, you're at St. John's Church in Dunbar, right?
We were meeting there, right?
Okay.
But of course, we're not anymore. So most of my, members are going to want to look on the video to do the exercises this fall. We usually met in the fall, and then we had 2 sessions, one in the fall and one in the winter. We would break for the holidays, but but you can get a hold of me at where I work, Chautauqua Opportunities, and my phone number is 366-3335, extension 1236, but you can just ask for Nancy. And or you can call the Office of the Aging, because they can let you know too.
What's the cost involved?
There's no cost.
What?
Well, if you're going to watch it online, there's no cost.
Okay, what about if it goes in person?
If we do happen to go in person, we usually just charge $10, and that's mostly to purchase the weights.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's a bargain. Okay. As promised, we are live, and we sometimes get a phone call, so let's have a call. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Nancy. Good morning, Doc. This is Linda Spalding.
Good morning.
Your presentation is excellent, Nancy. I am familiar with the Healthy Bones program, and I think it's so important for people as they mature to be aware of how they can maintain their health and their productivity, and exercise and all those components related to the bones is, in your overall health, is so vital as we mature, because we just don't snap back as quickly as we did when we were in our 20s.
Linda, you ever run into this where you meet somebody your age and you go, holy mackerel, what happened to them? They look like about 20 years older than you, and they're the ones that just didn't exercise or eat right or take care of
Or even
themselves.
people much younger. I have to tell you, though, when I went to my high school reunion.
Whichever that was.
Yeah. Well, it was. I think it was it 20 years or 25? 20 years, and I remember I walked in. I thought, who are all those old people? Oh my goodness, they're all my classmates.
I went to an all-boys school in Buffalo, Canisius, and I saw a picture of some of the guys. Most of them were bald. They're going, whoa, what happened to you guys?
So thank you for telling us about all of this. It's so interesting, and it's so important. I also want to mention that we do have employment services with the Senior Employment Program, and we're getting ready to start moving and putting people back and putting new people on. And also there are other services with the Chautauqua County Office for the Aging. And our phone number is on the screen, 753-4471. But while I am working from home, the most efficient and quickest way is to call my direct extension, which I get from my line at home. It's 753-4856.
Linda, while I got you on the line, how many people are you working with these days? I mean, if you were up to speed, how many people are we talking in the program?
Well, right now we have reductions. We're supposed to have around 25, but because people have been dropping out and stuff, and we haven't been able to put them back on, we only have around 20.
But in your prime, you'd be around 25 people working?
At least, but that's because our funding has been severely diminished through the years. However, we are getting an increase of funding this year.
Oh, good.
Our basic funding comes from the Department of Labor, the Federal Department of Labor, and then we have a national contractor, Senior Service America Incorporated, which is a contractor or a grantee, and we get the money that way, and they have to compete for the funding from the Department of Labor. But many years ago, it's not that long ago, we used to have 80 people on board.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, so you can see that there's been a big reduction.
Okay, and every once in a while I like to ask you, what are the positions that you'd like to fill soon?
Well, we're always looking for a driver aides for the Meals on Wheels program, and for carts, and anybody who wants to go to carts, I suggest that they want to be hired by carts to actually become a driver, and they're called a transport aide, and then we pay them while they're being trained. They get trained for their CDL if they don't have it. A lot of people coming on board already have their CDL, but if they need their permit, they can get their permit while they're in training and being paid, and we pay for that, and then they can take their test with the vehicle, which is terrific, and they get paid for all of that. So that's a really good situation for anybody who wants to be a driver. And of course, when people come to us, our primary concern is serving the people that we're supposed to target first, and of course, it's our veterans. We're to serve veterans first and foremost. But when they come and they're looking for something, we kind of custom it to their interest and what they want, and target different occupations that they want to get into. I say to people, what do you want to be when you grow up? Because not everybody wants to go into the work they've been in. Right. They want to change careers.
Yeah,
a lot of people. I've changed careers many times.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, and we'll continue our conversation over the weeks and months. Okay.
Okay, and thank you, Nancy.
Thank
this
you.
is a great presentation.
Thanks.
Have a great weekend and week.
Okay. You too. Then stay cool. Stay dry. Okay. Take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Okay. She talked about you. Didn't say anything about my presentation. We'll just leave that there. Okay. So, folks, you're watching Chautauqua Sunrise. My guest today is Nancy Dunbar, who is LPN, and she's an exercise instructor in a program called Healthy Bones that will be coming to your TV in the very near future here on Access Chautauqua. So we were continuing and we were talking about the benefits of exercise, and you mentioned balance, and I thought that was interesting. So is there, and I know there's not a specific moment in time, but when does balance start to become iffy with people? I mean, is it a certain point in life, or?
I think as you lose muscle, as you lose, the muscle can be, a little more flaccid as you age. If you're not exercising, you lose the strength in your legs as you get older.
I never thought of that.
Yeah.
We talk about, a bunch of us ride bikes and that, and I have found since I've been riding bike, when I stand, I feel different, and I hadn't really thought about the balance part of it, because you're, like you said, I know this is in biology class, but you mentioned this, and again, I hadn't really put it all together in my mind for this morning anyways, was that if you build up the muscles supporting those bones, then you've got a good system going there. So the balance obviously would come into play.
Sure.
I do know, though, some people have balance issues with medication. So we're talking something different here.
Right. This would be different.
Yeah, so like if you have blood pressure medicine, sit up slowly.
Right.
Put your feet on the floor, think about it, then get up.
Right.
But in this case, we're talking about if you don't stay strong, you're going to lean or whatever. Okay.
And some seniors even have trouble getting out of a chair. And that's because the thigh muscles, the legs are getting weak. And so you really need to strengthen, especially the thigh muscles, because that helps you get out of a chair. So
these are so basic, aren't they? We're not talking rocket science. We're not talking, extreme anything. Yeah, and I don't know how many times I've seen somebody that I visited, someone that's elderly, where they try to get up and you got to put out the hand and pull it out. I always thought it was their back, or whatever. But you're right. It's their thigh muscle it's the part that pulls them
Right.
forward without even thinking about it. Interesting. All right. Let's see. We talked about flexibility. So let's talk a little bit. What do you mean by flexibility?
Well, we do the one exercise that's called the leg raise or the knee raise, and you're actually putting on ankle weights, and then you're kind of elevating your leg a little bit so your heel's off the floor, but you want to raise that leg as far as you can go, and sometimes you lose that flexibility in your lower legs, by you might not be able to go up that high when you're raising it. But so the ankle weights will also help to build the strong bone in your legs.
Now, folks that are watching right now or listening, they may not be familiar with ankle weight. They're thinking,
Okay.
what in the world is that? I know what it is because I watched
Right.
you. But so can you describe it, or how do you get these? Or
You can get them online, and they're just, I'm sure you've seen them probably in the stores. They're just weights. They could be bars that are in these little pouches of material that you strap on your wrists or your ankles, and they're Velcroed on. So
pretty easy on, pretty easy off.
Yep.
So now I think one of the ladies had sandbags.
yes, that was mine.
Oh, was that it was yours?
Yes, when we started the program, we were given, from the Office of the Aging, we were given some ankle weights and some dumbbells. And the ankle weights had sandbags in them. And you can take those out. And most of the ones that you do buy, you can take the bars out or the sandbags out.
So if
you don't want that much weight.
Right, so if you're just starting out and you're going
Right.
like, "Arr, I can barely move,
Right.
start out really
And that's
low.
what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to start out low, possibly 2 pounds for your hands, and a couple pounds on each ankle, and then as you get better at the exercises, you can increase the weights.
Okay. I'm going back to that balance and that flexibility, and I digress here, but we talked about biking, and one day I realized when I'm riding bike, I always favor my right side. So I thought, all right, let's mess around with this a little bit. So rather than moving to my right side to glide, if you will, or just roll, I went onto my left foot down, and it was like a shock to my system. It was not as strong or comfortable as my right, or holding onto the handlebar.
Right.
You're just fine, waving with your left hand, but reverse it, it's like, whoa.
Right.
So I think I realized in my own self, I got to think about that a little bit,
Sure.
to get a balanced body.
Sure, and it's good to do that. It's good to trick your mind, and because if you're left-handed or right-handed, you're always using that side pretty much. But if you you try to balance yourself and use your other hand or your other leg or whatever to lean on, it's good to do that
Okay.
for your brain and for your muscles and your balance.
We have a question coming in. Hang on.
Okay.
Oh, okay. We covered this question earlier, but it bears review. The question was, does osteoporosis affect men and women? So I can answer the question, yes. But does it affect men the same way?
I think so. I'm not real.
Yeah.
I'm not up on that.
Osteoporosis is osteoporosis.
Right.
So
Right.
they would still get curvatures,
Sure.
they would still get brittle
Yes.
bones. And, a lot of people, they say that one of the biggest issues when you're getting older is falling. And I would think if you got osteoporosis, you're in trouble.
Definitely.
Okay. So if you get these little fractures in that, is there any repair to any of this, or?
Well, if you can, if you do get a fracture, like a wrist fracture or, rib, fracture or whatever, sometimes they have to heal on their own. It just depends on the type of fracture,
Right,
pretty
right.
much. So, but once they are healed, you should really start, exercising.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question. You can pass on the answer. It doesn't matter to me. But some people take supplements for bone.
Yes.
Is that something that you all talk
Definitely.
about? Okay,
Yes.
so go for it.
Well, calcium and vitamin D is really big, as you know, to build bone. and to keep your bones from fracturing and that. I think it's over 50, you should take about 1,200 milligrams of calcium.
Okay.
And vitamin D, it's between 800 to 1,000 I units, international units, per day. So,
Okay.
and if you take the two in combination, it's best because otherwise you don't get the benefits.
Okay.
So,
Doing the things that I do, being a musician, riding bike, on the computer, I take, I say, if I can say it correctly, glucosamine. Is that something
Sure.
people take? And
That's fine,
Can you talk
sure.
about it at all?
I guess that's just for lubrication of your joints, pretty much. Yep, to keep you moving. So that's good for flexibility. Yes.
Yeah, that really helps a lot for me, anyways. It seems.
Sure.
Okay, we're getting down to about 3.5 minutes here. So you mentioned Chautauqua Opportunities. Did you want to talk about that at all? Or?
Sure. I'm an outreach specialist or an Alzheimer's specialist for caregivers at Chautauqua Opportunities. That's what I do. And I help caregivers with different services that we offer. We do caregiver assessments where we go into the homes and we find out what they need, what kind of resources, what kind of services that they need. Would it be adult day services, Meals on Wheels, maybe a referral to the hospice program. Whatever they need, we try to find for them.
This for Alzheimer's?
Yes, for
Okay.
caregivers.
For the
caregivers.
And that's important. And we've mentioned this on the show before, is that there's so many people taking care of the
Yes.
person with the affliction.
Right.
We forget about those that are burning
Exactly.
out, right?
Years ago, we used to worry about the impact of the Alzheimer's individual. But the disease will get progressively worse, unfortunately, and so there really isn't too much we can do about them, but we need to take care of the caregiver because they're the ones that are taking care of that Alzheimer's individual.
So what kind of services do they get?
The caregivers, well, like I said, we give them a lot of resources and information. I also offer support groups
Okay, all right. So how often do they meet?
once a month.
Okay.
And right now, because of the COVID, we're meeting outside and socially distancing with masks. So we prefer to meet outside during the summer months.
So if someone right now is a caregiver, how would they contact you? Same number?
Yes, same number.
Why don't you read it, give it to us again?
716-366-3335.
Extension 1236.
Yes.
See, I even wrote it
Thank
down.
you.
Okay, and what's the charge for that?
Nothing. It's all free. It's under the, I work for New York State Department of Health grant. That's called the Caregiver for Underserved Rural Communities.
Okay.
And it's a caregiver initiative. And it was a 5-year grant. I'm in my 5th year. And so we've been doing this, for a little bit. Not only do we offer support groups, assessments, but we do educational presentations. And I was going to the libraries and senior centers, but now I just can educate over the phone or go to the home if they prefer, and find out what they want to know. Maybe the difference between Alzheimer's and dementia, maybe a type of dementia called Lewy body.
Oh, yes.
So there's
yes.
different things that they might want to know that they don't understand. So.
Excellent.
So I try to educate them, and then we also offer respite care.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, and that's free for a couple hours.
Why don't you define respite? People may not know what that is.
Respite care is just a temporary reprieve for the caregiver. They do an incredible job taking care of their loved ones with Alzheimer's. But they do need a break, and it's good for them to just take a break every now and then. And so we offer, with our home care service, we offer temporary reprieve for them. One of the aides will go to the house and they can go to a support group perhaps, or they can go to an educational presentation, or maybe a doctor appointment that they've been putting off.
Okay.
So.
Folks, you've been watching Chautauqua Sunrise. My guest has been Nancy Dunbar. She's talked about healthy bones. So make sure you watch her on Access Chautauqua, channel 1301 on Spectrum right here. And if you have someone that's dealing with an Alzheimer's situation, give her a call and give that number last time.
366-3335, 1236.
Excellent. Thanks, Nancy, for
Thank
joining
you.
us. We should do a show just on that.
Yeah.
All right, folks, Have a wonderful weekend. It's going to be a little toasty out there. Use that sunscreen and wear your mask. And we're going to see you all right here again on Saturday mornings at 9 o'clock. I'm Doc Hamels. We'll see you. Bye-bye.